Free socks.
You're listening to The Chris Carlisle Show, hosted by me, Chris Carlisle. And you're listening live on Spreaker, or if you're one of my Facebook friends, Facebook, if you've seen my post. Anyway, hope everyone's doing alright today. I'm off today, and I was also off on yesterday. I went over to Rosebud and ate at the Highway 77 Cafe for lunch. And then I went with my sister and her family over to Dynasty Chinese Restaurant in Temple. Anyway, the other day at work, I saw a guy take a dog into the restroom. When I saw it, I wondered if he was trying to potty train the dog. Anyway, they changed my hours at work. I now go in late at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and get off at midnight. Anyway, coming up, a new segment I've added called Book Report, where I take a look at a book that I've read. That's coming up next. That little number there was called a two-step pan. And now in this week's book report, I want to tell you about the book A Lion's Tale, Life in Spandex by Chris Jericho. It's the first book in a pro wrestler Chris Jericho's autobiography trilogy. I have the third book, Best in the World at What, I have no idea. I don't have the second book, Undisputed. I followed Jericho's career from the time he was in WCW right up to his current run in AEW. Now in the book, Jericho was the son of a former NHL player Ted Irvin, talks about growing up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And he grew up being a wrestling fan and meeting several wrestlers. He eventually made his way to Calgary and began training at the Hart Brothers Wrestling Camp run by Canada's legendary Hart Wrestling family. Although the only Hart that he saw there was Keith Hart. Other than that, the gentleman who worked as the coach, he followed a booklet or a list of a little book that Stu Hart had written about different techniques, holds, and all that other stuff. Anyway, he then started his wrestling career in Canada. He also became a star wrestling in Mexico as well as working in Japan and Europe. Talking about first coming to the U.S. and teaming with fellow Canadian wrestler Lance Storm, who had also trained at the Hart Brothers camp at the same time. They formed a tag team in Smoky Mountain Wrestling in Tennessee run by legendary manager Jim Cornette. The team was called the Thrill Seekers. They had previously worked as a tag team in Japan under the name Sudden Impact. He also worked in ECW and then went to WCW as part of their Cruiserweight division. He later became a heel or bad guy in WCW, and he feuded with the likes of Dean Malenko for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship, and moments that include such hilarious moments as reading the list of 1,004 holds and claiming he was the victim of a conspiracy after losing the Cruiserweight Championship, and even going to Washington to plead his case. He also had feuds with Juventud Guerrero, including a match where the stipulation was if Juventud lost, Juventud was then won the match, masked luchadors at that time. He had to remove his mask. He lost, and he did, and he had to remove his mask. He also had a little program with Goldberg, although he didn't actually wrestle Goldberg, although Goldberg speared him one of his last appearances in before going to WWF. He did take on a midget Goldberg, though. He signed with the WWF, now the WWE, in 1999. He also wrote about, talked about watching the Over the Edge pay-per-view where Owen Hart was killed. He was watching it with his then fiancée, who's now his wife, and they went to the funeral in Calgary, and there's a picture in the book of him and several wrestlers with Stu Hart. And the book ends just before his debut on Monday Night Raw, which I watched, by the way, when he walked out and had a one-on-one with The Rock. They built this coming to WWF with kind of a tie into Y2K, having the countdown clock, and that's where you got the name Y2J. Alright, coming up, look at horoscopes. That's the adventure of a lifetime. It's also my theme song, by the way. Alright, I ate pizza today at Blaze Pizza in Temple, by the way. Anyway, horoscopes now, Gemini. It's an emotional time for you, an extra emotional time, that is. And get out of your head and into your emotions. It will do wonders for your soul. It's going to be challenging for some. You should get through it unscathed if you continue to see your glass half full. Cancer. It says set a goal to sort out your work-life balance. That's your work-life balance, that is. Have you emerged from the pandemic with a touch of workaholism? Or maybe you never felt less like working, or is it time to find a balance? You need to be zen, but you also need to pay your bills. Leo. Right now, the universe wants you to rise to a certain number of ongoing challenges to prove how strong and resilient you really are. Do you feel this? If someone at home or work seems to be intent on making you jump through hoops, confound them by jumping. Virgo. The past few weeks have likely seen you striving to make a name for yourself at work. You've hopefully been shining. Now it's time to invest a little more emotion into your personal life. Libra. For some time you've been all about healing your relationship with relationships. Seriously, you had a rough road, but hopefully you're starting to see that people do like you. You can trust others' feelings, and not everyone is like the person who treated you poorly. Scorpio, my sign. Not that I care. As it says, turn the corner financially, okay? Seek a balance between what you need to feel secure and how hard you're willing to work for that cash. If your daily life doesn't help your goals, use the energies to make some changes. I'll keep that in mind. Sagittarius, time for you to turn the corner on a relationship. You probably know which one. Maybe you have been hard to get along with, or maybe someone you know is not treating you that well. Capricorn, your self-esteem could probably use an extra boost. Aquarius, weirdly an argument or upset you have with someone could actually do a good thing. Maybe it helps you to see how you have been taking someone for granted, or perhaps one has been doing that to you. Pisces, you could feel pretty motivated regarding money right now. Aries, think constructive thoughts about money. Things could go either way financially in the coming weeks. And Taurus, it says work could be a bit of a nightmare, don't we know that? But try to push through. Whatever happens now, including too much hard work, will ultimately help you to step up professionally. Alright, next to look at birthdays.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy
Facebook friends with birthdays are Bernadette, Lisa, Scott, and Timothy. The following celebrities have birthdays coming up: Chris Christopherson, the multi-talented entertainer; newsman Britt Hume; Alan Osmond of the legendary Osmond brothers, actress Meryl Streep, actress Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman, singer Cyndi Lauper, and talk show host Carson Daly have birthdays on today. Actor Ted Shackelford, Gary Ewing from Knots Landing in Dallas, Joss Whedon, the producer of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show, and actress Melissa Rauch from The Big Bang Theory have birthdays tomorrow. Meanwhile, actress Michelle Lee of Knots Landing, actor George Stanford Brown of a show, remember he was in called The Rookies, I think. Singer Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac, and actor Peter Weller and his RoboCop co-star Nancy Allen have birthdays on Friday. And then on Saturday, it's actress June Lockhart from Lassie and Lost in Space, singer Carly Simon, and Jimmy Walker, Dynamite. JJ from Good Times have birthdays on Saturday. Happy birthday to all. Coming up, a look at the past few days in history. Now look at what happened in years past. I found something on Facebook on June 16th, 1963. Soviet cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova became the first woman to be launched into space. 20 years later, in 1983, NASA astronaut Sally Ride became the first American woman to be launched into space. Now, the following came from the This Day in History newsletter email from the History Channel. On June 17, 1885, the Statue of Liberty arrived in New York Harbor. On June 18, 1812, the War of 1812 began when President James Madison signed the declaration of war that had been passed by Congress the day before. On June 19, 1865, word of the Emancipation Proclamation issued 2 years earlier by the late President Abraham Lincoln reached the now former slaves in Texas, leading to the holiday we now call Juneteenth. On June 20th, 1975, the movie Jaws was released in theaters. Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, became one of the first summer blockbusters. Just when you thought it was safe to go in the water. On June 21st, 1788, the Constitution was ratified when New Hampshire became the 9th state needed to ratify it. And on Today in History, in 1944, President Franklin Roosevelt signed the GI Bill into law. In the news, here are some items I found in the Temple Daily Telegram. This year's Freedom Fest will be from 4 to 10:30 p.m. at Hood Stadium behind the Clear Creek Post Exchange on Fort Hood on Friday. It's free and open to the public. You can bring coolers, backpacks, camelbacks, strollers, umbrellas, blankets, lawn chairs, small wagons, cameras, video recorders or camcorders, and service animals. Coolers, backpacks, and camelbacks will be checked at the gate, but you can't bring explosive weapons, firearms, knives, clubs, brass knucks, glass containers except for baby bottles, pets, alcohol, fireworks, pop-up canopy tents, camper trailers, and recreational vehicles. Now, the high gas prices, I told you I took $40 to fill up my tank last week. It's also being felt in other countries besides the U.S. A motorcycle taxi driver in Vietnam turns off his ride-hailing app rather than burning fuel during rush hour. A mother in Rome crosses off a pizza night to save money so she can take her son to camp. Meanwhile, in Texas, they're planning to put charging stations every 50 miles on most interstates. The Department of Transportation, in a draft released this month, broke down a 5-year plan to create a network of chargers throughout the state, starting along main corridors and the interstate highway system before building stations in rural areas. We'll see how that goes. Construction has started on the new Academy High School. AISD officials hope to have the school open by 2024. Now look at entertainment news. New movies out this week are The Man from Toronto, an action comedy starring Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson that debuts on Netflix on Friday. I went and saw the movie Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness in theaters last month. It arrives today on Disney+. Earlier today I watched the last 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. New music out includes the album Growing Up from country star Luke Combs, and it's being released on Friday. On television over the next 7 days, tonight it's the season premiere of Wellington Paranormal at 8/7 Central on the CW, Streetlight Harmonies at 9/8 Central on Access TV, and Planet California at 10/9 Central on PBS. And movies on TV are Ford vs. Ferrari at 3:30 Central on Fox, Bohemian Rhapsody on 10/20 is at 10:25 and 9:25 Central on FXM, and the Movie Mash is on at 12:53, 11:53 Central on HBO Comedy. Tomorrow, the season finale of Walker is on at 8/7 Central on the CW. The season premiere of No Demo Reno is on at 9/8 Central on HGTV, and the season premiere of Southern Charm is also on at 9/8 Central, and that will be on Bravo. Movies on TV for tomorrow include The Gods Must Be Crazy is on at 9:40, 8:40 Central in the morning on FXM. The King's Speech is on at 11:27, 10:27 in the morning on Starz Encore. Candyman, the 2021 version that is on at 1 noon Central on Epix. The Battle of Britain is on at 4:55, 3:55 Central on HDNet Movies. And Ready Player One is on at 11:10 Central on TNT. And Science is on at 12:33, 11:33 Central on Sci-Fi. I went and saw Ready Player One, by the way. Okay, sorry. On Friday on TV, it's the season finale of Come Dance With Me at 8/7 Central on CBS. And that is followed also on CBS by the 49th Daytime Emmy Awards. That's on at 9/8 Central. Movies for Friday include The Black Swan at 7:26:20 in the morning on FXM. Airplane at 8:15, 7:15 Central in the morning on IFC. Zoolander is on at 5:15, 4:15 Central on IFC. Bridesmaids at 8/7 Central on AMC. Honeymoon in Vegas at 8:30, 7:30 Central on This TV. Pulp Fiction at 9/8 Central on Showtime Next. Galaxy Quest at 10:35, 9:35 Central, and My Best Friend's on Epix, however you pronounce it, and My Best Friend's Wedding at 11:30, 10:30 Central on CMT. On a Saturday, there's a 4-hour marathon starting at 6:05 Central in the morning on TV1 of In Living Color. Movies include a new movie on Hallmark called 2 Tickets to Paradise, and it starts at 8/7 Central. Other movies on Saturday are Groundhog Day at 10/9 Central in the morning, and Spies in Disguise at 3/2 Central on FXM. On TV on Sunday, it's the season premiere of Westworld at 9/8 Central on HBO. There's a documentary premiering on CNN also at 9/8 Central, called Citizen Ash, about tennis legend Arthur Ashe. And at Showtime, also at 9/8 Central, is the season premiere of The Chi. And movies on Sunday are Love Story at 7:30, 6:30 Central in the morning on the Movie Channel. The Bourne Legacy is on at 8:30, 7:30 Central in the morning on Sci-Fi. Fast Times at Ridgemont High is on at 10:45, 9:45 Central in the morning on AMC. Bumblebee is on at 11:30, 10:30 Central in the morning on Freeform. And Twister is on at noon 11 Central in the morning on CMT. By the way, I saw Bumblebee and Twister. And also the USFL playoffs are on Saturday at 3:02 Central on Fox, and then at 8:07 Central on NBC. And on Sunday it's the NASCAR Cup Series race, the Ally 400. That was my script, by the way. It's on at 5 Central on NBC. The season premiere of The Split is on at 11:10 Central on BBC America, and the documentary premiere of Hiding in Plain Sight, Youth Mental Illness, will be at 9/8 Central on PBS, and that's on Monday. On Tuesday, the defending American League champion Houston Astros travel to Queens to take on the New York Mets at 7/6 Central on TBS, and that's subject to blackout. In sports, the NBA draft is tomorrow night. Meanwhile, several area teams will be playing the 7-on-7 football state tournament in College Station on Friday. They are Temple, Harker Heights, Rockdale, and Cameron Yo. Heights and Temple are in Division 1. Temple is in Pool M. They play Mission Cherryland at 1:45 p.m., then play Rockwall Heath at 3:15 p.m., and then close out Pool M against Conroe Grand Oaks at 4:45 p.m. Heights plays Katy Cinco Ratchet at 1 p.m. They play Louisville Hebron at 2:30, and they play Wichita Falls Rider at 4 p.m. Heights is in Pool B. Yo plays Cameron Yo and Rockdale are in Division 2. Yo is in Pool E, and they play Pool E, that is, and they play Columbus at 1:45. Then they play Tuscola Jim Ned at 3:15, and Wichita Falls at 4:45. Rockdale, meanwhile, is in Pool G, and they play Dumas at 1:45. Then they play Perennial Power Salina at 3:15, and Bay City at 4:45. Well, the weather is going to be hot. Very hot. Anyway, today's Bible verse is, if ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. That's from John 14:14. And this week's OMG fact, oh my God, is that while you are in Youngstown, Ohio, it's against the law to run out of gas. Well, that sucks. Anyway, I'm in the stream right now. I'd like to thank you for listening. If you missed the live stream, you can hear it Google Podcasts, Spotify, Art, Spreaker, Podchaser, and on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Chris Carlisle's channel, by the way. The Chris Carlisle Show is written, produced, and hosted by Chris Carlisle as part of Chris Carlisle's podcast on Spreaker. Please leave a like and a review. If the ratings, leave a rating. And until next time, I'm Chris Carlisle, and I'll see you later. Hi, I'm Chris, and thank you for listening to my podcast, Chris Carlisle Show. Chris Carlisle Show is available on Spreaker. Please leave a like and a review, and also a follow. It's also available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Podchaser, and Podcast Addict. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.